Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about an adventure drama film called Return to the Blue Lagoon from 1991. Enjoy your viewing. A little boy and a little girl accidentally found themselves on a desert island. Here they grew up, matured, and made their own child. With him, they went on dangerous boat trips, but it so happened that the young parents did not survive the trip, but their son survived. The boat was spotted from the ship where Sarah Hargrave and her daughter Lily were sailing. She immediately took the crying child with her, and his mother and father were buried in accordance with maritime traditions. Soon after this event, the ship's doctor told the captain some unpleasant news. There was an outbreak of cholera on the ship. The captain realizes that no port will accept their ship while there are sick people on board, so he decides to save at least Sarah and her children. He puts them in a boat with a sail and gives them a supply of water, and one of his men to take the woman and child to the safe shore. But Kearney was far from a gentleman. He immediately suggested that Sarah throw the boy overboard and leave her baby behind, as long as the girl didn't cause trouble. Moreover, the supply of fresh water is enough for one person for a long time, but if you divide it into 4, the reserves will quickly run out. So Kearney refuses to give the children water. A boy named Richard starts to cry. This drives Kearney crazy. He reaches out to throw Richard out of the boat. Sarah grabs a buggy and hits the sailor several times with it. The man drops dead, and Sarah coldly throws him into the water. However, they have to sail for a long time, and their water supply is running low. The ocean never ends. Finally, their boat reaches the shore of a tropical island. Sarah unloads the children and her trunk with the belongings she had packed over the protests of the assistant captain. She uses the boat's sail to make a shelter from the rain and sun. Underneath it, Sarah arranges a modest shelter for herself and her children. Sarah is a woman who is not afraid of anything. She has experience of living in harsh conditions, and so she quickly built a device for processing coconuts, found where bananas and other fruits grow, and learned how to fish. However, during a storm, she realizes that living on the beach under a canopy is not the best idea. She takes the children and goes to find a quieter and more secluded place on the island. After a while, Sarah comes to the shore of a blue lagoon. This place seems like a fairy tale, and Sarah decides to move here. Not far away, she finds a hut that Richard immediately recognizes as his home. He goes inside and calls for his mom and dad, but they are nowhere to be found. For Sarah, this hut is a real salvation. Together with the children, they move in. Later, at the top of the highest part of the island, Sarah builds a big fire. She will light it when a ship appears on the horizon. Sarah keeps a calendar where she marks the full moon. During this period, local savages become more active on the island. They come to the northern part of the island to perform sacrifices. That is why the woman forbids her children to go there. Despite being cut off from civilization, Sarah brings up her children in accordance with the rules of the civilized world. She teaches them good manners, how to behave at the table and with each other. Sarah believes that they will be picked up by a passing ship, and then no one will be able to blame her for raising her children badly. Meanwhile, the children are growing up. They are very friendly and have fun, swimming, catching pigs, and learning how to get food in the sea. Sarah tells Richard that she is not his real mother, but the boy still considers her his mother. The children begin to ask questions about male and female anatomy, and Sarah explains to them the rules of becoming a man and a woman. She tells Richard that his body will change, and hair will start growing on his face, and she tells the girl that she will bleed and grow breasts. The children go out to sea to go fishing. Lily has already caught one fish, but Richard's catch is taken by a shark. He curses at the marine predator but can do nothing. While they were fishing, their boat became untethered and started drifting towards the shore. The children have to be cunning to get to the boat. They distract the shark with the fish they caught and get to the boat themselves. At home, they are both scolded by Sarah for coming back so late. Gradually, Sarah, Richard, and Lily learn everything they need to do on the island. They fix the roof, get water and food, and make their own clothes. At the same time, Sarah does not forget to celebrate traditional holidays and keep a calendar. But one day she starts to get sick. A common cold turns into pneumonia, and Sarah dies. Before she dies, she asks to be buried on the top of the island and to leave a tombstone. Richard and Lily have become teenagers. They still live together, keep to a schedule of duties, and celebrate holidays. At Easter, they hide eggs in their part of the island, and whoever finds the most wins. But this year, they decided to make the game more interesting, and the winner gets a prize from the loser. Lily has collected more eggs, or so she thinks. Richard hid one of the eggs he found to make a nice present for the girl. As a gift, he personally mined a pearl for her. Lily used it to make a hair ornament. When the girl is spinning around in the mirror, looking at her breasts, Richard spies on her. Lately, he's been acting like a typical teenager. He has to be the first in everything. He even decided to compete with the shark in speed, which he later bragged about to Lily. Otherwise, there was no point in competing at all if you can't tell anyone about it. Lily pretends that Richard is a braggart, and she doesn't like it, but she is still drawn to him. Hormones also begin to rage in her body, making her look at the boy differently. One morning she started bleeding, and the girl realized that she had become a woman. Now she and Richard sleep in different beds. Lily managed to experience this moment alone, although the boy later found out about the girl's bleeding. Lily also learned something about Richard's morning routine. This peculiarity excited and made the girl laugh. The hormones in Richard's body expanded so much that he began to do more and more rash and risky things. For example, he went to the northern part of the island. Here he found frightening skeletons of dead people and then met savages. To avoid them noticing him, Richard covered himself in mud and watched their rituals. When they finished the ritual and dispersed, Richard took the spear of one of them, but then one of the savages ran out. Richard pointed the spear at him and was about to kill him, but he did not. They smiled at each other and went their separate ways. Lily spent the whole evening looking for Richard, and when she met him, they decided never to quarrel again. They kissed in the sunset rays, sealed their promises. After that, Lily and Richard got married. They wove their wedding rings and had a ceremony. Since then, Richard and Lily have lived as husband and wife. One day in their married life, they saw a ship at sea. The boy and the girl ran to the fire to light it, but they were afraid and decided to wait. They watched the sailors through a spyglass, trying to figure out if it was safe to show themselves. But when they saw a girl in a boat swimming to the shore, they hurried to meet her. The team was surprised to see civilized people on a lost tropical island. Richard and Lily introduced themselves to the ship's captain, Jacob, and they were introduced to the captain's daughter, Sylvia. The girl took an immediate liking to Richard, and the crew members kept their eyes on the half-naked Lily. Richard and Lily invited Jacob and Sylvia to dinner. They told them about their lives. In return, the captain and his daughter brought them clothes to cover their bodies. The boy and girl showed the sailors where to get water, and Richard helped with carrying the barrels. Sylvia began to seduce Richard. She put a blush on her cheeks, and the boy liked it. This made Lily jealous. When Sylvia found out that instead of dancing, the couple just jumped around like children, she decided to teach them how to dance. She started teaching Richard first. Offended, Lily ran away from the dance lesson. When Richard and Lily went to bed, the boy confessed that he was attracted to Sylvia. The next morning, Lily began to imitate Sylvia, but instead of wearing makeup, she put on war paint, which Richard did not like. He sent her to wash her face and decided to teach Sylvia how to fish, but the girl tried to seduce him. Richard refused her advances. He loves Lily and doesn't want to hurt her. While Lily was washing under the waterfall, one of the sailors watched her. He noticed not only the girl's body, but also the pearl that Richard had given her. He dragged Lily into the hut and told her to give him the pearl. Lily called for help, and when Richard heard her scream, he rushed into the fight. But it was not easy to cope with an adult sailor, hardened by long voyages. The sailor grabbed a gun and shot Richard, but did not have time to finish the job. The guy was fast and agile. The rest of the crew and the captain came running to the screams and sounds of the struggle. They forced the sailor to stop, otherwise he could have strangled Richard. When they pulled him away, Richard started running, and the sailor chased after him. On a coral reef, he fell and injured his face. From time to time, he stopped to shoot, but all the bullets flew past. Richard lured the sailor into the water, where a shark came to the smell of blood. It grabbed the sailor and dragged him underwater. The captain and the crew got ready to go. They invited Richard and Lily with them, but they refused. They do not need the civilization that these people carried with them. They are ready to exchange it for life in their tropical paradise. Moreover, Lily is expecting a baby. She does not want her child to grow up in a world ruled by deception and cruelty. Lily gave birth to a healthy and beautiful daughter, and the three of them lived happily on the island. If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I am happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. Klontsak Recapped was with you. See you soon.